Welcome to the Slips, Trips, and Falls training session prepared for human potential healthcare staffing. We hope this training will provide you with information that will help you create a safer work environment for both you and your coworkers. Slips, trips, and falls are one of the leading causes of injuries to employees in general industry. Broken legs and arms, broken hips, severe back pain, back injuries, and concussions are typical injuries resulting from slips, trips, or falls. These injuries can be painful and often require long recovery periods, but fortunately, most injuries can be prevented. This webcast will identify common slip, trip, and fall risks in your workplace to help you avoid an accident or injury to yourself, coworkers, or even your patients. More than likely, we've all either slipped, tripped, or fallen and hurt ourselves at some point in our lives. So how do slips, trips, and falls happen? Well, a slip occurs when there is little traction or friction between the shoe and the walking surface. A trip occurs when a person's foot contacts an object in their way or drops to a lower level unexpectedly, causing them to be thrown off balance. And then a fall occurs when you are too far off balance. This training will focus on incident related to work situations that you may encounter at your workplace. There are two types of falls. The first type of fall is on the same level. This is also the most common type. The second type of fall is from an elevation. This typically occurs on stairs or from ladders, platforms, or loading decks and can cause serious injury. In this training, we'll show you examples of both same level and elevation falls in the workplace. Computer and telephone cords tuck under desk and run across walking paths cause injuries every year. Make sure that the computer cords and cables in and around your workspace are tied together and placed securely out of the way. Unsecured electrical cords in aisles and workstations are also common workplace hazards. Typically, this occurs when a device is plugged into an electrical outlet on another wall, away from the actual device, or again, when the cords are not properly secured. When you see this in your workplace, let your supervisor know. Your supervisor should then contact maintenance to help solve the problem. Spills on floors at work are another common hazard. What should you do to reduce the risk of injury to yourself or a coworker when you see a wet floor? A spill of any type on any floor surface should be cleaned up immediately to save yourself or a coworker from slipping. If you're able to clean it up yourself, you may choose to do so. If not, contact the appropriate person, perhaps even maintenance, so they can take care of the spill. If the spill cannot be cleaned up immediately, make sure to use a sign to warn everyone of the wet floor. This is a good interim preventive measure. Regardless of how the spill occurred, this is not a situation in which to believe a myth someone else will do it. While this may be true, before someone has had the chance to clean up the spill, a coworker could get seriously injured. Always remember, safety is everyone's responsibility. Now, let's take a look at a few more workplace hazards. Mats are frequently used to keep moisture, oil, grease, and debris off smooth surfaced floors. When used properly, mats help avoid potential injuries. When the mat is folded back, however, it can quickly become the cause of an accident. Anyone could catch their foot on the mat and take a terrible fall. When you see a folded mat like this, and if you're able, please take the time to unfold it. If unable to do so, contact someone who can, such as your facility maintenance team members. As with some of the other pictures we've seen today, general housekeeping lapse often create potential for serious injuries. This is a picture of a stairwell with several safety hazards, many of which are trip hazards. How many of these trip hazards can you identify? All right, you finished? Let's go through them one by one. See the trash can in front of the doorway outside of the stairway? Anyone carrying a package or turning their head momentarily at precisely the wrong time when entering and exiting the stairwell could trip over these trash cans. Trash cans should never be placed in walkways or near stairways, entrances, or exits. Here we also see a cinder block used to prop open a stairway door. Anyone could run into a cinder block, twisting an ankle, breaking a toe, or falling to the hard surface floor and sustaining even more severe injury. Also, stairway doors, when closed, serve to prevent fires from spreading. An open door will not help to contain a fire. The board against the wall is also a trip hazard. Another is the chair. Stairways should not be used for storage. If you come across a cluttered stairway, please report this to either your supervisor or facility maintenance area immediately. Here you see a portion of the sidewalk has given way to a sinkhole. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you will also see a warning barricade. If a barricade is not already in place, contact your maintenance team immediately. Anytime a hole is identified on a walking surface, barricades or warning indicators should be immediately installed around the hole to prevent a trip and fall. The barricade will not fix the hole, but if you see one placed near any hazard, you'll know that the facility is already working on a permanent resolve for the problem in the area before an accident happens. Slip, trip, and fall hazards also exist in office settings. It's important to close your desk and file cabinet drawers immediately after each use. Employees quickly refocus to the task they are working on and forget that they've left a drawer open. Later, when returning to leave their workspace, a worker could turn hard and fast into the open drawer or even trip over it. Painful leg and ankle injuries can occur by leaving drawers open. Also, keep the floor around your workspace free of boxes, cords, cables, materials, and other objects. You might be surprised how easily the objects in your workspace can become hazards. Since it's your workspace and you're often safety at stake, please do whatever you can to keep your work area safe and injury-free. Well, here you see a walking path. You have storage of supplies, you have wet floor signs, you have a nursing cart, and in the far end you have a housekeeping cart. This is not a good way to walk in your aisleway. You need to keep them clear of materials, equipment, and other hazards. If you need to store something, make sure you're doing it all on one side to prevent that serpentine style of having to walk. Here now you see a picture in a warehouse where the traffic pathway is well marked and free of obstacles. Keeping pathways free of materials, equipment, and other objects will greatly reduce the potential of injury. And remember to keep cords, cables, wires, and hoses secured and away from walkways and other paths of travel. Stairs are another area where falls often occur. Here you see someone who's about to fall. She's not holding on the handrail. If she were, she might be able to correct her balance before she falls. Falling down the stairs can cause serious injury with long recovery times. Always hold the handrail when climbing or descending stairs. Don't rush, don't skip steps, and don't carry anything that will compromise your ability to hold on to the handrail. If you have an awkward or large load to carry, always use a cart. When you're transporting that load to another floor, take the elevator. Never take the stairs. Whether you are on the stairs or walking across the floor, you should never carry a load you can't see over and around. You want to always check to be sure that your pathway is unobstructed and your view is clear before you lift anything and carry small loads close to your body for better balance. The woman on the right is violating 2 rules of safety. She is carrying too much to handle and she cannot see over or around the boxes. She should take 2 trips, use a cart, or get some assistance in order to avoid an accident. During your typical workday, you will see many potential safety hazards. You've seen several in today's web training. Let's look at a few more. Here's something seen far too often. Never use any chair as a ladder, but especially never use a folding chair or a chair with casters. This is very dangerous, and if an employee falls, it would almost certainly cause an injury. Ladders are specifically designed to help you safely step up and extend your reach. If you need a box that is too high to reach, need to change a light bulb in the ceiling, need something on a high shelf, ask for assistance from either your supervisor or a fellow employee who is able to assist you. If a ladder is used, make sure the worker climbing the ladder is qualified and comfortable doing so. Never jeopardize your safety or that of a coworker. And remember, a chair is not a ladder and should never be used to stand on for any reason. Ladders serve as helpful tools around the workplace, but can quickly become a hazard if not used correctly. Be sure to have a good handhold before stepping up. Place your foot on the step or rung just in front of your heel under the arch. Make sure you have 3 points of contact and never stand on the top of a ladder or the top step. Heavy work equipment, whether used indoors or out, is often muddy, wet, or greasy. These conditions present a hazard to employees entering and exiting the unit. To help avoid an injury, first make sure the equipment's running board, tread, step, foothold, and platform are dry and clean of any contamination. Also make sure to clean your footwear, face equipment when entering and exiting, have a good handhold before stepping up or down, and place your foot fully underneath your arch on the step or foothold. The pictures you see here are excellent examples of how to use 3 points of contact when entering or exiting a truck or large piece of equipment, or when climbing up or down a ladder. Do you see the man pictured here in the illustration using 1 hand and 2 feet, or using 2 hands and 1 foot? This is the correct way to enter equipment. Also, never jump off or out of the exiting bed of a truck or any other part of the equipment. Instead, step down carefully when facing the equipment. Your work activities may also take you outdoors where additional hazards exist. Be careful on wet grass, mud, gravel, and in parking lots. Pay attention everywhere you walk. Be aware of outdoor hazards that can cause you to slip, trip, or fall. Pay extra attention if you are walking near a construction area or an area where maintenance work is being performed. Wearing the right footwear for your job will help prevent or reduce your risk of having a slip, trip, and fall incident. Make sure your footwear fits snugly and comfortably, is slip resistant with a good tread, is clean and in good condition at all times, and is repaired or replaced when necessary. No footwear has anti-slip properties for every condition, so remember to always use caution at work. Here are some examples of soles you should use for various work environments. If you're not sure about which footwear is the most appropriate for your work environment, ask your supervisor or do some research online. You've seen a number of common workplace hazards and many ways to help alleviate and avoid accidents and injuries. The good news? Slips, trips, and falls are preventable, and you are in the best position to prevent them. Here are some safety tips. We're all busy multitasking at work, doing more than one thing at a time, but we still need to play it safe while doing our work. So, pay attention to your surroundings, look where you are going. When walking or going up or down stairs, don't engage in activities that distract your attention, and do not read, write, text, or dial while walking. Be sure to watch for any change in surface texture from one type of walking surface to another so you can adjust your pace and stride accordingly. Take extra care when you come indoors with wet shoes, and slow down and take small, careful steps in the event the surface is uneven, cluttered, slippery, or inclined. Maintain clear, tidy work areas free of clutter by following good housekeeping procedures. Don't wait until you're done with your project or unpacking boxes to throw unnecessary materials away. Throw materials away immediately while you're working. You may save someone from tripping over your materials. Fix hazards such as small spills and cluttered walkways if you're able to do so. Use caution when entering and exiting vehicles and equipment, and when climbing and descending ladders and stairs. And report hazards promptly before accidents happen. The best way to prevent an incident is to be aware and prepared for possible dangerous situations. When you go where you are looking and look where you're going, and report potential hazards immediately, you help reduce workplace accidents and injuries and create a safer work environment for everyone. Remember, accidents at work are preventable. Be sure to pay attention, be proactive, and be careful. Thank you for watching this webinar, and always remember, safety is everyone's responsibility.